I'll wait till a few more people come in. I want to make kind of an announcement. Yeah. And nobody yet. There we go. We got one like and one person on. That's good. Thank you. Hit that like button before you even come on. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I do.
2 on there. Hit that thumbs up button.
Even
there.
if I
3.
don't watch it right away, I go on there and hit like and.
We got 3 and 3. Now we're up to 4 and 3. All right, hit the like button, you 4th person that came on there. Okay, I want to make an announcement. The other day, I got a message stating that you guys really love what I do and wish that I would stay on track. You know, I skip around, and it's all over that Cobra project. I had to smash that thing. Let me tell you something. I can't paint at my apartment. And if you can't watch Saturday at John's, it's on there for posterity. It will be there forever. Come back and watch it. You know, if you can't watch it live.
I do that all the time. I'm not on there watching you every night or even Saturday at John's. Sometimes I'll go on there to see what the comments are, what I may have missed, or we may have missed while we were live. Yeah, that's a ticket.
I'm doing the best I can. Okay, we're up to 5 and 3, 6 and 5. That's good. Good morning, Steve. Yeah, if you can't watch Saturday at John's, I'm sorry. You know, but you can watch it later.
Yep. It's always something. It's always something, Sally, as they say around here.
Well, we've done some assessment in the garage this morning and found that this thing is
pretty screwed up.
Yeah, pretty screwed up. However, I don't want to refinish it before this season. I want to start out flying this season, so I'm just going to sand it and doctor it, as I mentioned before. So low ceiling.
Yep. Anything bad about down here?
Yeah, it's not like I'm making any money at this either, you know. It's not a regular job for me.
Get rich quick.
Fix and sound are good, says Craig. Just do what you can. And thank you, Craig, for your support. Good morning, Harry. I need electric sander is what I need for this. See, this paint is weird. It's like it's not dry, it's gummy.
Did you use retarder in it or anything?
No. It's all the way down to that Jap tissue. I'm kind of thinking there's a problem with that Jap tissue. Huh?
That's possible.
I don't have any more of it. And the bad thing is some of this is on my tucker. So if it does this in a couple of years, this airplane's 5 years old.
I can remember when that first did that, you thought it was hanging by a heat outlet.
Yeah, I thought it was a heater. Well, it'll be lighter by the time I get all this sanded off.
Yeah, you're gonna put it all back on now. That sucks. Want a pad or something?
I got it right
Got
there.
that?
If I had time, if I'd have thought about this earlier on in the season instead of building airplanes, I should have just stripped it and refinished it.
Yeah.
But you know, even if I strip it and refinish it, it does not guarantee me it'll fly the same.
No, they fly different from year to year
Yeah.
on their own. I wasn't doing anything to them.
I just want to doctor it up so it looks good enough to take to the field. I mean, I don't think I'm going to worry about this year because I think it's going to get stripped and refinished, you know, the flap here. I'm just going to worry about the pock mark back here. If I were to set it on the ground and nobody pick it up and look at it from 10 foot away, it'd be a 17-pointer.
Yeah. It's a nice airplane, but you can't do a Jim Lynch look at it.
No. Be a
Hey,
12-pointer.
Jimmy, if you're out there, hello.
Jim's eyes would be a 12-pointer.
I know this seems like an awful lot to go through to bend a control horn, but if I get a straight control horn bent the way I want to the first time, and I don't waste one, then it's worth it. Screw 4 screws in real tight. Okay. And I got a center line on there, which I offset it just ever so slightly to one side.
We got 9 watchers and 7 likes. Hey, Jack. What do you guys think? Should I invest in a Mevo 3-pack for streaming? See, with a Mevo, the 3-pack, I don't have to go through my phone. I go right to your hotspot so that, you know, that'll pick up the speed. It switches by itself from camera to camera. It follows your face. it's got mic input, so we can hang a mic on top here and get super quality sound.
I made this up just for these airplanes. But it'll work for any others because I got this set at just under 2 inches here.
Yeah.
Which is about right for most of these airplanes back there. And that puts it right in the end of the elevators, or in on them just a little bit.
Well, mine's only about an inch apart here.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it'll work.
2 inches is, let's see, what is it here actually? It's 1 3/4 inches. That's inside a wire and inside a wire. So I had 2 1/4, I had 2 1/2, I had this one here was, for smaller wires, was about 2 1/8. And it just depends on where that wire goes into the elevator.
You can make it as wide as you want, just build the elevator to fit.
Right. Well, I already had this sort of drilled and everything, and I wanted these to come out right on the ends. So I just put them on there and measured it, and then just made one for it.
How did you get the shape of this? Those ribs? You know?
Yeah.
You just put it together and sand it, or did you have rib?
I put it together. It was all like 3/8 square wood to begin with.
Okay.
Okay, and then I took a piece of tape and I measured back on all these ribs like 1 inch, or 3/4 of an inch. And then I put a piece of tape at 3/4 of an inch back. And I couldn't sand past that now. So then I put a center line on the leading edge, so I had a nice center line on the leading edge. And then I just started sort of tapering it down. I started on the leading edge since it was solid, and the ribs sand real quick, because they're just 16th inch wood in there, so they sand just a swipe or two and they're down there. So I sort of get the shape of the leading edge that I want, and the sort of thickness, and then I just sort of contour the ribs into it. And it comes out pretty good. I mean, it looks like I spent like it's a carved piece of wood on this, but and then I covered it. And when I covered it, that was the hard part. I glued the sheeting on up to where that piece of 3/4 inch tape ended. And I stopped gluing. I left the leading edge just sort of stick out straight.
Yeah.
And then I came in there with wood glue.
White glue.
White glue. It was all white glue together because I glued it up and put them on the glass here and weighed them down and let them dry. And then I didn't worry about the fact that the very front of the leading edge was tapered a little bit extra. So when I pulled this sheeting down here, I took a piece of balsa wood and put on each side of it and took mine, just like this. Put that on there like that on both sides.
Then spring clamps?
And spring clamped it. And as soon as I got all the spring clamps on it, I set it back on the table and weighted it back down again flat so as not to hopefully do some kind of work in it. But those little clamps and this wood's just to protect your sheeting, because some clamps are actually pretty strong. And I put about, 10 clamps, 15 clamps on it. As many as I had, the whole bucket full of them.
Because I'm going to build a stab like that. Let me see that. Yeah. This ain't as light as you think, though.
No, it isn't. It's a little bit on the heavy side, but then I got that carbon in it, so that's something that I don't normally do. This is how I get my hinges to where they line up perfect.
You should have called me up and asked me to bring. I got a sheet of 15,000 unidirectional carbon. It's a sheet, and you just cut a strip and you glue it between two pieces. You know, on the trailing edge. Done.
I never had that problem before. I've never had one warp on me like this big.
Yeah.
And so I had to, you know, sort of figure out something or build a new staff, 2 new staff. It made them come out stronger than I'll get out. That's 2 pieces of 1/8 inch square carbon fiber tubing.
Yeah.
In there. Inlaid in there. So this is how I do these, and I get these lined up pretty good. I mean, it works for me anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna build something like that.
It's okay. So I got this these elevator halves here with. I'm not worrying about these 2 center pivots yet. I got these 2 elevator halves here already with the control horn in them. I better get that off from there. Okay. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to mark these hinge locations in the elevators where I want them at. So I want to look at this real close and see what I want to use at the top and bottom, because I'm going to put a couple of magic marker lines on, and I want them to be on the bottom. That'll be the top. Be the bottom.
What is the name of that stripper that them guys are using?
Dad's stripper.
Where can I get that?
I think Ace.
Let's see. Maybe Amazon can deliver it to me Monday.
Wait. Did you see another weight? Yeah, that's right there.
Dad's stripper. STR. Yeah, they got it. You can't have $2. Let's see. Okay. Smart Stripped Advanced Paint Remover strips 15 plus layers of paint. Paint stripper, 1 quart, 32 ounces. Super remover, new generation. See, the bad thing is, if I start stripping,
I don't know how bad that stuff smells either. I'm not familiar with it myself. I know that there's been a lot of talk online that it works really good, and it'll take the silk span and everything off.
here's citrus strip, and it's varnish and stripping. That means it doesn't work.
I haven't had much luck with anything that says citrus in it.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Paint stripper. New generation, safe. That means that doesn't work.
Here's the key to these hinges. And this is one of my sort of pet peeves here. When I first started using these, I put these hinges in the elevator halves first. And then I tried to mark the holes in the stab for this floppy ass hinge that's going all over the place on you, and I couldn't get a good solid mark for these cutouts that have to be made in here. So consequently, I ended up The hinges were binding because the holes ended up being a little bit off and all that stuff because the drill bit walked a little bit when I drilled the hole and this and that, or I didn't, whatever the reason, but anyway. Put the hinges in the fixed surface, in the stab. That way the hinges are solid. They don't move, that's where they go anyway. Then put your elevators up to the hinges and mark where the hinges go, and you'll have good slots. And you do need to mark left and right just in case you didn't lay these out exactly, which always happens. And I just block them up with these weights on each end. I've got the control horn in there that I'm going to use. So this is the horn for this stab and elevator half.
Here, let me mention this to you, John. Smart Strip Advanced Paint Remover strips 15 plus layers of paint. Environmentally friendly, non-toxic, safe, no hazardous fumes, no foul smells. You know what that means?
Don't work.
It doesn't work.
That's typical. You want to make these marks. I'm going to be using these marks to run this through this saw. So you want to put these marks up here where you can see them. And you can get pretty accurate with these things. You make them a little wide, just cut this, use a saw blade in between the two marks. Pretty much just that simple. These pins are in here nice and solid. They're not flopping around and you're trying to use something floppy to mark this. Put them in here first and then do that. Save you a lot of headache. So right now I have all my stuff done. I use this. This is inboard because I'm working on the bottom of it. Remember, I put the top, the bottom up. And marker work. So I'm gonna put an I here.
Morning, Gary.
And I'm gonna put an O here. Inboard and outboard. Take that control horn out. I'm going to put an I here. And an O here. These are number 2s. So I had all these pieces marked as pairs. 1 and 2 and 1. And they're both number 2s. They go on this one. So we're going to put that on here too. Number 2. I do this in more than one place because if you get to sanding, you're less apt to sand off 2 marks than you are just 1. Those are in there. These tips aren't shaped or anything. I want to get this all hinged and everything, and then I can draw my profile for my shape of my tips. After everything's hinged and put together, and I can sand it all and everything lines up. All that wrought. You know, that bloody raw. Now this one, we're going to mark this number 2 because these can change a little bit too, even though I've been them on the same jig. 2. Control horn for this set.
I don't think I'm going to have to take it all the way down because this is stuck down real good here. And it's smooth and feathered in. Just shoot some BC 540 on it.
even though this is good and this is usable, what I did was I bent this on these larger pins. They're not 1/4 inch, they're 3/16 on these. Well, I went to even smaller pin than 3/16 to get a tighter radius here in the corner, which is, since I'm using this thin wire, you can go that little bit thinner, but don't go any thinner than, what are these? What's the next size down from 3/16?
3/16?
5/32. Next size down. Like 30 seconds, 11/64, something like that. Anyway, try to go as small on that diameter wire as I can. You're supposed to do, I think it's 3 times the diameter of the wire. I think. Don't quote me on that. For this radius right here. This isn't music wire, this is air hardened drill rod. It's tweakable without breaking. Okay, that goes to that. Yeah, that goes to that. This gets put up. Try to use it. And I made this jig specifically for these since I already had the tubes in them. And everything. What's in there? I had to push this thing. Double check, make sure you're bending it the right direction. Not that I haven't done that before. Now putting this on here so this first bend doesn't pull this wire. You don't have to do it on the second bend because the wire sort of holds itself, but this keeps it from yanking the wire that direction. And this flat plate, as long as you're bending flat on that plate, when you take this out of there, both them wires will be parallel with one another. You won't have one up or one down or anything like you do if you bend them in hand. And you can set this angle that you want this upright or your control horn tab. You can set that angle. If you want to rake forward a little bit, you can rake it forward. If you want it exactly straight up and down, you can set it straight up and down. You can sort of lock it in place there.
I wonder if I ought to try to wet sand this. Wouldn't hurt. You got any wet sandpaper?
Probably.
.320 wet.
What these blocks also do here, I'll get you some here in a second. They also keep this center piece from bending, from flexing. When you bend that around, it'll want to flex and they'll put an arc in it. So by bolting it down right there, it stops that from happening. Took me some time to make the jig, but now I got the jig forever.
Got a hole in it too for the hinges to sit down, or the hinges to sit down in.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll show you here in just a second. Go down to your local scrap yard, scrap aluminum yard, steel yard, or whatever. They normally have a recycling section where they sell new used metal. You can get it for pretty cheap. Get you a bunch of scrap piece of aluminum. They come out great. Perfectly parallel. These have a hole cut out in them right here, just big enough to slide them hinges all the way in there together, so that when it's in there, they sit down in that hole, and then this, where it's bigger than the wire, it sits down in that hole also. And then the clamps go on. These clamps just got a little teeny half slot in it, and they can go down there and clamp that wire, and that keeps this piece from bowing when you bend it. It's bigger than anything. If you leave that like that and you try to bend that, this will look like a V right in here, a big arc. You don't want that. You want this to be straight, nice and straight, make your hinges work good. So, I mean, that's how I do it. Anyway, this is not my idea by all means. This is Derek Moran's invention, this jig. This jig and a couple other things that I sort of stole from him. Which, by all means, use it. I mean, I don't think Derek will mind. I'm not selling these things, so I'm not using his idea to make money.
There's nothing new anyway.
But no, it's just if you're a machinist, you know all about jigs, because all machining is nothing but about making jigs. Jigs for everything.
Let me see some 320. What's in this bottle here? Is this water or ammonia or what?
Does it have something written on it?
It says paint and garden sprayer.
No, and magic marker.
No, nothing on it. It's water.
There's 600.
I'm going to use a 600 after I get it knocked down. So 500. 320. Okay, I'm going to see if we can cut the paint a little better with 320 wet and dry.
Yeah, you might have to be extra careful now. That's been my experience in the past. When you switch to using it wet, it cuts faster. I don't have any M600. You can't find that stuff hardly anymore. I couldn't get it. Well, I could get it one time, but then they quit selling it to me because I wasn't a commercial car painter. So I didn't have a business license, basically.
And it ain't nothing.
Alright, what happened to my... I lose that one bigger every time. There it is.
Good. John's got some double-edged razor blades right here. This is what I first started building with right here.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Break them puppies in half. And...
No, I didn't break them in half. I just stuck the back in the backside of a matchbook.
Yeah, you can do that too. I always broke them in half because it made them narrower. So there we go. Two control horns essentially identical. Although I mark them just to be safe. I mark these in an area that's going to be stuck inside the wing. So the magic marker doesn't seep through the paint and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, let's see what happens when I do 320 wet.
I don't need that anymore. I don't need this anymore.
Craig said use 80. No, I don't think so.
I think he's being smart on that.
I'd use 80 on bare wood, but not on paint.
I think somebody's busting your butt there a little bit.
Just don't cut it that well either. I need his electric sander.
Yeah, that'll take it down there.
Put it on that disc sander over there.
Yeah, you put about 10 holes down the side of that fuselage if you buffed up against it. Okay, let's see here. Man, those things are healthy. And they're stout. It's the only thing I use this saw for.
It only has enough power for it.
Yeah.
I wonder if I ought to put tissue over the top of this.
Another layer.
Yeah. 16 and 12 we got watching. Hey, hit that like button, you guys. Don't be bashful.
Man, I wish they made these little extension cords with a ground plug hole in them.
You make your own.
Well, right now.
This thing's gonna look like a Mexican lowrider while I fly it until I get it ready to finish, you know. I'm just gonna sand it, prime it, fly it, sand it, prime it, fly it.
It's a rat rod.
Yeah. Make your own, just drill a hole there.
I had some of them adapter plugs. I don't know what happened to all of them. Buy them things by 6 or 7, 8 of them at a time.
Gotta tell you, this doesn't work that good on this paint.
Well, you put him 600 on it, and that just, you don't have any soap in that. Won't make any difference if you do.
I don't think I need to get it all off anyway.
Soap just helps it keep it from
Digging holes.
building up.
I think the stripper is going to be the best way. I'll just have to
Probably.
go through the season with a ratty airplane. Either that or bring out the Continental XL.
And it's not like you're lacking for airplanes, that's why.
I got the high roller Continental XL. This airplane. Yeah, that's what I told you. That's what I do all the time. Make sure to touch that with your tongue as you're working with
Oh
it.
yeah, we'll do that. Stand in a puddle of water and get your tongue on there real good, barefoot. Ooh-wee.
Live life better with electric. I'll tell you a story in private about that sometime.
What I get a kick out of is they're all talking electric cars and all this. Where do they think electricity comes from? The wall?
A battery is only a storage device.
Right,
A battery is not electric.
right.
It's just a storage for the electric. I don't know.
Where do they think the shopping bags come from? Or the television case, or the computer case, or the lipstick that they wear, or the clothes that they wear, or the shoes. On and on and on, you know, and
Dashboard in your car, your tires, your
the asphalt, the streets.
extension cord, your refrigerator, you name it. It's all made with fuel,
Oil.
oil.
And if the oil company said, you know what, hell with this, we're going to quit pumping. Guess what? We go back to the Stone Ages.
Yeah, you think you got it bad now. Wait. All right, now my next move.
Well, this all started with Greta Thunberg. .3/16.
These aren't necessarily 3/16.
You only want to go half the distance.
No. Go full distance.
Oh, that's right. You're going to bury the wires. The wire's already buried in.
You bury this the full diameter of that roundel.
Yeah.
I might have a problem here.
Get out the file.
Everything's falling apart on me.
Now this hits is a DC 540 and be done with it. Sand off these pock marks here. This This thing looks like it has leprosy.
That sort of does.
Have to strip it next year. If you need to get it deeper, you need to file this off right here on the bottom.
This?
No, on this side, right there. It's hitting that when you push it down.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's hitting on this wood right now.
Oh, okay. Just turn the saw on and push it down.
Yeah.
$14 and $17. We got some slackers there. Hit the like button, you extra 2 guys. If you haven't hit the like button, hit it now. You know, Saturday at John's may not be for some people because there is no script. There is no, you know, we're doing all kinds of things. This is just hanging out with us, you know.
Never going on. What's going on?
These little things aren't noted for their
Power.
easy setting accuracy and all that shit.
The biggest thing is don't cut it too deep. If anything, cut it shallow and then you can sand the depth of it. And as long as you just get it close. And I always take a piece of something that's scrap. And cut a piece of scrap just to see. And now that one off. God dang it. Come on, everything. One day. Just a hair shallower. May look like a toy, but it will take your fingers off.
Let's try it.
Yeah. That's pretty good right there. It's a little shallow.
You ever seen them saws with a safety stop on it and they take a hot dog and stick it on
Yeah,
there?
would you want to use your own finger to test it?
No.
I always wondered about that. Who's going to be the first person to really do that? Well, that didn't work. Back to the drawing board, guys.
I guess what's going to happen with this airplane is I'll sand it, and if we go flying like this next weekend or whatever,
Yeah.
I won't bring this one out. I'll bring the Continental or something else out.
That worked.
Keep sanding on this till it's ready to doctor up.
Won't take long to doctor it up. Couple days.
This is weird.
Are you getting any silk span up at all?
No,
No silk span at all. Did you try to knife a bubble off?
no, but it's between the silk span and the paint. Here we go. See? Like oil got underneath the paint. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, but to have it's have that much, that's like something splashed.
There's oil under that paint. Look at it.
Well, that could be where what you're sanding with.
No, I'm not sanding with water there. I was sanding with water out here.
Almost like it had to have been splashed with something. Huh.
Look at this piece that's coming off.
Doesn't smell like fuel.
This is that English Japanese tissue.
Well, you can't get it anymore, so it's a moot point, but
It's like it didn't stick at all to this tissue. Look,
the whole thing peeling off in one big sheet.
yeah. Wow.
Wow. That's sort of sticky. That is weird. I mean, you can see sort of a shine in there. Believe me, that's sort of, gooey, sticky. Huh. That wasn't new DC 540, was it? That you were trying?
I don't believe so.
I'm gonna get that stuff out of the shop before it contaminates something else. Alright, make a little noise here.
If you sand with this, it loads the sandpaper up. room reservations yet?
No. I'll stick a little block of wood down and all them. Must not put a blocking in there for that.
I got a pleasant surprise from the AMA. I got an email from them. I had paid 2 years and didn't realize I had paid 2 years. I don't have to pay again this year.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Huh.
It doesn't make any difference on this, just enough to keep oil and stuff out.
That means that this will peel off right here too. Oh, man.
Perfect.
Just a very light touch of the sandpaper. That's only because the little brass bushes are sticking out a little bit.
Yep, that's all the way down to that paper. So now I gotta think, what did I do between that paper and DC5? I didn't do anything different on this.
It might not have been what you did there. It might have been what you did in your shop while that was sitting there.
Of course, come feel this. This feels exactly the way that tissue felt.
Did you wax something with an electric buffer?
No. This feels exactly like that tissue felt. Doesn't it? Because that's that tissue right there.
That almost feels like sort of waxy like that.
Yeah. Way to do it would be to somehow catch it and pull up the whole thing.
I've seen guys do that where they took a rag soaked in lacquer thinner and let it lay on there.
Supposedly that dad strippers will do that. It'll take a silk spin right off of there.
Yeah, if I'm going to do that, it's going to get completely stripped. Okay, you found the like button. That's good. I'd love to stay and watch, but my son has Taekwondo class at 15 minutes. Catch you later, Steve. $18 watchers or 15 watchers, 18 likes. That's good, but let me bring you over here and show you the mess that I'm making. Okay. The tissue on this came from England. It's a Japanese tissue. And it felt kind of waxy when we put it on. Well, the oil from the muffler or whatever kept coming back. And somehow it got between the tissue and the paint. And this paint is just peeling off like nothing. And I wouldn't worry about it, except this is a great flying airplane. I mean, great flying airplane. So what I'm going to do for the season is I'm going to remove as much of this as I can. Take some DC. It's going to be a Mexican ride is what it's going to be. DC 540. And kind of primer spot this in. And then I'll just shoot a little color on it. So that it doesn't look, it's even doing it up here on the flaps. It's got some spots up here on the flaps. And the fuselage, it's starting to, I mean, it's bad. Now the wings didn't do it because this is a double-aught silk span. So you say I can get Dad's stripper at Lowe's?
I think you can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot or.
What do you think, a gallon?
Can't quote me on that. Gotta find out for sure. Go on their website and they'll tell you.
I might just bite the bullet and strip the whole thing.
Might be Ace Hardware stuff.
And you guys know where to get Dad's stripper?
This is the place. I can't say that, I'm not sure.
If I strip it, I can open it up and look in there at that bell crank and see why it is.
Yeah, you have multiple reasons.
I'm not going to be happy with it. I mean, it flies great. It just looks like crap. It's been repaired so many times. Let me know you guys ever refinished one? I never refinish them. I always just build a new one.
It's a lot of time past me too.
You want to support the channel, hit the join button. It's $4.95 a month. That really helps out. I mean, I put in a lot of work to bring this to you. Especially during contest season. And the bandwidth cost me a lot of money. And I just paid $1,400 on the server. I'm trying to get together all the money I can to pay for this stuff. What are you looking for?
That little ruler, I just had it laying here. Shot bait.
He grew sprouted legs and ran across the floor.
I just had it, damn. I got another one, but I like that one.
Find it?
Yeah.
Where was it? Right where you left
there,
it?
laying right in front of me.
Yeah, if you can, hit the join button. $4.95 a month. Craig says just patch what needs to be done. Don't strip. Yeah. You don't understand my mindset.
Yeah.
It's got hanger rash on it. I could fix all that. Those aren't parallel either, in case you didn't know that.
They tweak pretty easy. They're getting cut off, so. All in the bench trimming.
Yeah. I even got my Federal Aviation number on here.
Really?
Oh, look.
Did you renew it?
Oh, yeah. Right there, see?
I put on mine.
What do you think of Canada not honoring the AMA?
And they're Mac, what do they call it, IMAC or whatever.
Yeah, and they have to be AMA members to fly here. Not whatever. Everybody's got their hand out for nothing. It's a bunch of old farts flying model airplanes. Give me a break.
Pretty much. That pretty much is right. Wow, how'd that freaking happen? Must be a lump of glue or somewhere on the table. God damn it, that pisses me off. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Throw that in the trash. Actually, what happens is when you're sanding them, it gets a rock in the paper.
These have never been touched.
Well, then it's on
On
the
the
table.
outside of the sheet. Put that on the bottom. That's bottom. That's bottom. I'll take some water, soak it in water, and take a iron to it. See what I can steam out of it.
Uh-oh. They're watching us.
Yeah, was this a personal message?
That hinge right there on the end, on this end, is not in square. Neither is that one. Do you square them up before you
Before I glue them out.
no, before you mark them? Because if you mark them off, they'll be off.
Yeah, they'll be squared up. They move a little bit in them slots.
Uh, 20 likes and 12 watchers. That's good. I will not be happy with it 70 on.
70 ounces.
Steve says, you mentioned that the new silk span tissue is not good. I have some in good shape that's 40 years old. Would I use it? You bet.
I'd use it in a heartbeat. K&S or SIG.
Yeah, 40-year-old silk. This, we're painting with 50-year-old dope. That one can of dope out there is 50 years old.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
It's put more thinner in it.
Do you know which can I'm talking about? The one that's really rusty.
Yeah.
Probably needs to be transferred.
Well, let's have a burr on it.
Bird. No, Craig, if I strip it, everything will come off of it. All the way down to the wood. Tissue, paint, everything down the wood. Start from scratch.
Yep. Man, that pissed me off.
I think it's a single-edged razor blade. Look at that. It's just coming up in sheets. You got a scraper, a sticker scraper?
Yeah,
Let me see it.
they're not very good for that. You might have to put a new blade in it.
Yeah, I will. We'll try this first.
All right, more noise.
What do you mean not very good? Look at that.
Well, I just meant that the razor blade was old.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that is pretty weird, isn't it? One, this is turn it there, this is inboard.
Look at that.
Huh. One.
Like it didn't stick at all.
And it's everywhere that you use that stuff. The fuselage, the flaps, the stab, the elevator.
Yep.
That is weird.
And to think I paid $15 a sheet for that. You took 6 sheets to do this?
Yeah. Take 6. 1, 2, 3.
We wasted some trying to cover the wings.
Yeah, wasted at least.
Was that this airplane or the Tucker?
That was the Tucker.
That means the Tucker has a chance of doing this.
I don't know that we didn't switch. Well, I can't remember. My memory's going terrible.
I think I used it on the hardwood surfaces. Some of this paint is locked down real good. Like right here.
Well, the plane's not that old to have had something seep.
It's only 5 years old.
Yeah, but it doesn't have any flights on it.
Probably got 100 on it or so.
I ain't got no 100 flights on it.
Huh?
They ain't got no 100 flights on it. If you fly 15 times a year in 5 years,
Well,
that's
60 or 70.
60
There's
maybe.
100 flights on this.
Haven't done a whole lot of flying in the past 5 years, that's for sure.
I guess maybe the Continental with some trimming sessions, like adding some tail weight to it.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do.
At least it's tail weight, not nose weight. You look at it, it's shiny right here, like there's oil or something on it.
Yeah, it's weird. Got me weirded out on that one, bud. You're in the wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking to get some dad stripper and just go ahead and strip this. I'll get that shit off of there. Have to put less dope on it.
You definitely need something to make sure you get all that crap off.
Yep. The tissue, because that's tissue there. That's sanded nice. I mean,
Yeah, the sand job's good on it. It's not. I just don't understand why it acted so weird. I mean, it acts like it had thin paint on it and I had fuel poured all over it and just sat on it, but I know better than that. I know a lot better than that.
well, even the oil that gets back here, the castor oil shouldn't affect this.
No, it's not in the direct path of hot oil or anything like that. Not back that far.
I wonder if that dad stripper will take off the fiberglass.
No, probably not. I wouldn't think so. Just don't leave it on there long. Sand all that, don't use that. You got silk spin over the fiberglass?
I got that shit over it.
That's what I meant. You got that shit
Over-
all over the fiberglass?
I think so.
So you did that airplane at home, back home,
Right?
St. Louis. Yeah, it's even got some of it right up in there. So
Yeah.
that's not totally. It makes you wonder whether or not that. See, you painted that with DC 540,
Yeah.
and DC 540 didn't stick either.
Well,
It makes you wonder whether or not that might have been a time when they were messing around with formulas or something, and they changed the formula.
it's been about 5 years since they changed the formula.
Yeah, about as old as this airplane is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a shame too, because that's and nothing I hate more than refinishing an airplane. I'd almost just rather build a whole new airplane than refinish one. It's that much work.
Yeah.
But if the plane is really worth it, that's why a crash that breaks the stab or elevator off, I'll make a new airplane.
Yeah, I do too.
I won't even glue the stab back together.
This will be my first refinish job if I do it. I think I'm going to though.
I mean, that if there's any airplane that'd be worth it, it'd be worth that airplane.
Yeah. And then I can cut this open here and look inside there. And
Cut to the, just first weight alone. Even if it went up to 60 ounces from 50, you're at 58, 56,
57. Yeah.
57. Even if you went up to 60 with a refinish job, it won't hurt you in the least. I know you don't. I know you want a 54-ounce airplane, not a 58-ounce airplane, or a 60, but
Yeah, just put less paint on it.
I think you use medium silk span up here on the wing on this airplane. You
No,
use
not medium.
cap tissue on that English stuff.
Yeah. Didn't use medium. I used double lot. You can tell there's not enough clear on it. I mean,
Well, what clear you did put on it, you sanded off and buffed off.
yeah.
You're buffing nothing but straight paint, which it'll shine just like with clear on it, just won't have that depth. All right, let's get a paper towel, some water.
Look at this.
We're going right down to the same level.
Yeah. Gummy. Look at that. You could be right. It came down to DC 540 on this spot here. It could have been monkeying with the formula. Look at that shit. Yeah. Have to see about Dad's stripper today. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with it anymore.
Well, I got most of that out of there. So what I did there, guys, I put water on this wood. I had a bunch of scratches. You get a rock on your sandpaper or something on your building surface. Hot iron, wet it down until it's steaming, because you can feel it float on the surface.
I'm disgusted.
Oh yeah. There's one right in there.
And one's still right there, but that, it'll be all right.
By the time you get silk span on it and all that. But that took 90% of it out there, water and the hot iron.
Well,
I don't know about using your old lady's steam iron.
it'll be fine.
Might not be a good idea.
It'll be fine. Yep.
What a shame. What a shame. And the way that stuff's coming off there like that. Did it, up there you said it split between the top of the DC and the paint?
Right here, where that lump was, I just took and scraped it right, it went right down to the primer and it's sticky as hell.
Ooh, Jesus, that's like tape.
Yeah.
And it is DC 540 right there.
Yeah.
That has to have been what it was. Huh. Why never?
It doesn't look like this airplane's gonna see any service this year. Have to fly something else.
I'm gonna get too many of that.
Um,
No, I'm not, damn it. I need to leave that long enough. I want to make that long enough where I can get it back out there pretty easy.
what's up, T-Bone? Well, yeah, you'll see us at Brodak. No, it won't be. I don't think it'll be ready in time for the Nats. I doubt it. Yes, like I said, I would use the 40-year-old silk span. If nothing's wrong with it, not unless worms ate holes in it.
Yeah. I've seen that happen.
You know what? Now that I think about it and look at this, the dope stuck this tissue down. This tissue has 2 coats of dope on it,
At least 2 or 3.
and this still looks really nice. It was the DC 540.
Had to have been.
Because that's where it separated at. It got gummy. I don't think we had switched over to that other the Crest at that time, did we? 5 years ago?
No. No, we didn't. Not at that time. I only used that crest on like one airplane, and I didn't use very much of it.
That'd
You know, in fact, I still got all my cans, pretty much.
yeah, it's better that we quit using all that stuff, really. It's just a lot more
We
work.
tried to get away from primer completely, you know, which really, the lightest weight substance that you can put
Clear
in your
dope.
airplane is clear dope. It has hardly any fillers in it. It has no pigments in it.
You can see that happening right here, too. Separating.
Yeah.
Like everywhere. Not a shame.
See, I got some airplanes from that time period too that were done with DC 540.
Oh, man. Well, as you see, I'm not hurting for airplanes. I mean, I wanted to fly this, but it ain't gonna happen. I could take it out and fly it as is. You know, it didn't hurt anything. It just looks like crap.
Yeah, I think before I'd even be messing with it, I think I would pick a different airplane and put that one back up on the refinish stand.
That's, you know, I think that's what's gonna happen. We're not gonna fly it this year. I'm bumming.
Yeah. Not much you can really do about it. You gave it a whirl, you tried. And that's all you can do.
See, it's urethane up to here. This is all urethane. The separation is right there at that line.
Is that urethane sorta?
No, this is regular automotive urethane.
I mean, urethane sorta.
Just the nose to keep the fuel proof down.
So you did some stuff with urethane that.
Oh, yeah.
Sorta. Urethane.
Urethane with dope thinner in it. That works good. Just heavy.
I don't think I got them cut deep enough. What it is. Oh, it ain't quite deep enough.
It was from Al Ferraro.
What was from Al Ferraro?
The crest. Yeah, the crest works. It's just heavy. It's the next best thing to the old DC 540. But if you were here, Al, I know you're a paint guy, and saw this, it's a mystery.
Yeah. It feels like tape
Yeah, it does.
on there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like the sticky to low-tack tape.
Yeah. The paint job is peeling off just like it as if it was tape. You have to make something.
You know what? 50,000 sanding tools that I made for different things, and I can't find one to sand that stupid little slot deeper.
Eighth-inch stick.
Yeah, write that down, Nate. I
I got all sorts of little 1/8" thick ones, but they're not deep enough. That's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. There's a 1/16 inch slot sander, but it's only about a 1/16 deep. Here's where all that old junk balsa wood that you got laying around comes in handy. It's sort of hard. That's too thick. Is that a piece of 1/8 laying there?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It might be metric.
That's like 1/8. Yeah, it'll work in there.
At least I got it over here to see exactly where I'm at. That's a bummer.
That's a fact.
The thing is, where am I gonna strip this at? I can't strip it in my apartment.
Now, I don't know, you know, how caustic or whatever that dad stuff is. I can't tell you too much about that junk. I never used it. You know, these hinges are just a little bit too big around for the thickness of that. When I go sanding all them, I might have to make some new hinges. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to make some new hinges. Those are too big around. Under 3/8. only sanded on one of them. Yeah, you gotta watch this stuff. All this stuff plays a big part. Before you know it, you'll be adding wood everywhere. That means I gotta reset up and make. These I won't worry about. It won't hurt these.
Yes, it will. That means the center is going to be different.
No, because I can set these in further. I can just square just this one edge off. I don't know if I can get them off of there or not. Yeah, that's awful tight. Once they're bent and that's on there, it's sort of hard to.
Yeah, just cut them off, I guess, and slide it in a little farther. Just have to pay attention.
I do have to set up now and make all new hinges. Because all the hinges that I made were for were all the same. They were all those. I need to get these wires are only temporary.
You get the next size smaller.
Yeah.
Al said that he handed the primer to us at the 2019 Nats. So this is from 17, so this would not have crest on it.
Yeah, I didn't think it did. Dang. Probably shouldn't even be putting this wire in there before I clean it, man. That Chinese wire. Remember you used to get music wire and it was shiny?
K&S wire.
This stuff's black. You gotta literally buff it up. Got like soot on it, like they didn't do one of the manufacturing processes. Because there ain't no glue after they got glued in there, so there's no glue in them. Well, I guess that means I gotta make hinges.
You got an Ace Hardware around here?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Sure
I
did.
thrown over there at lunch.
We can do that. We can do that.
If they don't have it there, we got a Lowe's and a Home Depot by me.
I'll tell you what, here's something, a little hint. If you can get these kind of screwdrivers instead of these ball end screwdrivers, or even if these are square end fit better than the balls. But if you can get these ground tips, and RC car guys use these things a lot, you get them in metric and standard. But these are like hardened steel. You'll break set screws using these, but the set screw won't strip out. These fit just so tight that you can tell when you stick it in there. Like these screws right here are panhead screws. It's got a very shallow, very small bit hole in it, but you can stick that. You can put that in there and you can't hardly deflect that. I mean, it fits in there that tight. That's, they got a shallow socket in them, but when you can tell the second you put that there that it's there, it's solid.
Posi-Lock.
These are the best for them little wheel collar set screws and stuff like that.
I just changed them to 440 bolts.
Well, I do that too, but there's a lot of times, like inside the fuselage, like if you're using it on your push rods or something like that, you don't necessarily want to. Gotta take this off here, but. Make me bend over again. We could really take off here any time.
Yeah, we've been on 2 hours. It's about as long as we hold the attention of people. If you haven't hit the like button, please give it a thumbs up. And please consider joining and becoming a member. It's the join button right above the subscribe button. It's $4.95 a month. That helps offset some of the glue, the wood, and so on and so forth, so that I can bring you this content. Because I ain't getting rich, and I'm going out backwards. It's costing a lot of money. Yeah, COVID.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about that. We already had it.
Which you had the flu.
Huh?
You had a cold. And that gave you COVID. That's what made up COVID, the flu and the cold combination. Alright.
It really wasn't any big deal after we got the stuff.
Now see, I can't use these and just go on this wire, because this wire is the ID, is the OD of that brass. So I've got to go through the whole shebangy wangy and make up new squares. Cut on these squares.
Well, guys, it's lunchtime. We appreciate you watching. We've been on 2 hours. Possibly could come back after lunch. We're gonna go see about getting some dad's stripper so that I can strip Old Faithful over there of its dress. Be great if we just melted it all off.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Right down to the wood. Like, subscribe, share. Please consider joining, becoming a member. It's the join button right above the subscribe. $4.95 a month. Appreciate you watching. We might be back later. Fair winds, tight lines, and let's go, Brandon.
Good, Brandon.
See ya.
Baby. Bye.